Broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 16 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball, and I'm waiting for my... Hang on a minute. Something's going on here. What's this? Paper's rustling. Stuff is starting to happen in my room. Lightning bolts are starting to fire. There's a big spherical shape forming. It looks like it's something from the future. Could it be from Cyberdyne? It's emerging. It's an MF-8... Oh, hang on. What is it? It's
You're not going to say me, are you?
It is! It's the Martinator! Martin Fowler has arrived from the future. His mission to destroy anyone who does not like science fiction. And the coronavirus as well. Hello, Martin. How are you?
Hello, yes. I've come from 24 hours in the future, yes.
Not 28. What's it like in 2029? Has the virus been tackled?
All right, sorry, 28, 29. Yeah, we're on to other ones by now.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Well, let's get serious, because although we're going to focus on the sci-fi,
But you will win the lottery on Saturday.
Oh, great! That's good. I'll already get my ticket. That'd be fine. Thank you, mate. Have you got the numbers?
10 quid.
10 quid.
Yes, well, don't overspend it.
Oh, I thought you meant about $1 million or something.
No, you win the big jackpot, but you're going to share it with 10 million people.
Actually, we won about 30 quid recently for something. It's like I'm not a lottery fan. My wife does it, but I'm not into I've never been a gambler myself. I've always been a...
No, never shown interesting.
No, when we were in Las Vegas a couple of years ago, I was really... I mean, we had a look at some of the slot machines and stuff, but I'm just not a gambler. You know, like people... I always think, I'm not going to win. Why would I waste my money? I'm going to keep my money. And
I had a friend who used to like gambling on horses, and when I was working at Leeds City Council, he was payday at bookies, and I went with him at I didn't put all down. And this was before they had televisions, and they used to have speakers in there. And he'd blow hundreds of pounds just stood in there with the rest of them. No. And I were in there 15 minutes. I said, look, mate, I'm off on board stiff.
No. I don't. I mean, I do not play a lot of games on my apps on my phone, but there's one game called 8-Ball Pool. It's a pool, obviously it's a pool game. And it's very clever because basically you win credits. It's not real money, and it's like gambling. So you can have like 100 credits, 200, and it goes 500,000, 100,000, 500,000, $1 million. And I've been playing this for years, but it's all about you may take a risk, and you play with people online, and they play with their money. And in the end, I have been wiped out a few times and lost all my money. At the moment, I've got 3 million credits, which is crazy. But it's not real money. But the point of me bringing this up is that it's all about the gambling factor as well as the skill. It's not just pure gambling. It is gambling, but it's not real money. But it tells me just how, you know, you get like a winning streak where you win 5 games and then you lose loads of money. It's all about how I would never be into gambling, and I never have been and never will be.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Never appealed to me. I've been in a couple of casinos and it didn't do nothing.
No, it didn't do anything for me, mate. So I think and you're probably a lot more richer, a lot more money for it, for not actually being into all that stuff. In the end, you will lose money. In the end, that's why.
I had a friend. He lost 2,500 quid in one night, and he asked me and my other mate. This were in a casino in Leeds. He asked me and my other mate to lend it money for a taxi home. I'm not making it up. I'd never been in a casino till he took me in. I felt the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But he ran out of money. I don't know, playing some card
roulette or whatever.
He got wiped out though.
Yeah, never into it. Anyway, but that's bringing on to the next topic. That sort of place is a place where you get lots of people, and at the moment you do not want to be in places with lots of people. So let's talk about the latest developments from our perspective. This will be released quite soon after we've talked about this, so it should still be relevant. Tell me, you're in central London. Tell me how it's affecting you so far.
Well, I'm at home. I don't know how long for. I went to the doctor's last night to sort out a prescription. I had to knock on the door. This woman, she spoke to me through dog, gave me an email. Said, if you want prescriptions, you've got to email us. I said, well, what about? Well, how do I see a doctor? She said, we only see you in emergencies.
Yeah.
Other stuff, it's video calls from now on.
Yeah.
The course I've booked several courses which I'm doing. They've all been cancelled. So just like the irony is, one of my mates phoned me up and said, "Are we still going out next Saturday?" I said, "Did you phone me? All right, cancel about it." He says, "We are going out on the."
No.
We are going. I said, "Well, I don't." I said, "Well, I don't think
it's up
so."
to you. I wouldn't advise it myself, but obviously it's up to you two what you want to decide to do.
Well, there is a comic thing on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I might go to that.
Oh, okay. I heard of something in Portsmouth. There's some sort of Comic Con or something, but I won't be going to
No,
that.
it's a comic mart. There'll be about 80 people.
It's up to you. I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
I think it'll
get
be
closed down. Yeah, cancelled.
by Friday.
Yeah, it'll be cancelled, mate. I don't think it'll happen. I mean, in where I am in Portsmouth, it's starting to sort of heat up now. There was my local school yesterday had its first confirmed case. But the schools are still open, which I think is absolutely mental, absolutely ridiculous. I have a condition, which I don't know if I mentioned it, but where I have a very bad reaction to things like flus, and I have an immune response. So I am now self-isolating. My family are also self-isolating because they could bring in something to me. So it's all quite scary. Luckily, my wife can still do her work through Skype and do stuff through where she works. So she can still be productive where she is. My job, which involves going to schools, dropping off food and going to local government buildings. I'm at the moment on unpaid leave because it was self-voluntary. My boss said until I've got the doctor confirming. My doctor has confirmed that they feel that I shouldn't be doing anything working from home, which of course I can't do. So that means I should get my money paid back very soon. I'm only working part-time anyway, so it's not, on the short term, it's not a big factor. Our American trip we've now cancelled, which was going to be in August. And I'm not even going into we're ordering everything online. So I suggest if you do order online, get the orders in soon to obviously a supermarket. I won't give names, but you know the ones that you go to, because they are getting filled up very quickly. Stockpile. Hopefully anybody sensible has been doing this. But the UK, we still have our schools open, which is ridiculous. My kids' school anyway, even though they're off, half the school is closed because there's not enough staff. So yeah, this is something out of Survivors, something out of I Am Legend, something out of the Amiga Man, Contagion. There's so many films, even things like 28 Days Later. No, it's not as bad as that. That's it. But it's the closest you're ever going to see in reality to these science fiction films. I think it's a terrible, terrible thing. This is going to take years for the world to recover, and it's probably going to change people afterwards when this is all back to normal about just more hygiene and things like those McDonald's bars where you go into them and you press on those great big screens for those like fries and stuff, which have literally had hundreds and hundreds of people. No. And the thing is, I didn't before this. I was really conscious of germs, and of course I would assume that in the future that can't continue because they're just so unhygienic. So all right, let's talk about, because this is a science fact, but what is science fiction at the moment is, because it's not happened yet, is what do you think people will be like in say 3 or 4 years time? Do you think society will change on the ramifications of what's happened?
I think society's going to change for the better somehow. I'm an optimist. I think this doesn't matter if you've got no money or lots of money. It puts everybody in the same boat. We've had government ministers being infected by it.
Yep.
Hollywood movie star Idris Elba the other day got affected.
Yep.
People like ourselves have been affected, can be affected. And I do care like family, certain people.
Of course you do.
I'm worried. I phone them up and.
Me too.
I'm waiting. I think I got a letter through my letterbox. Somebody on my street is on about starting something for people that can't move about. But this morning when I went to the shop, I saw, because I live in West London, I live on the street, so it's a nice street, but I saw people talking to each other for the first time from a distance. Which I found I even said hello to some people. I said hello. But I found that quite fascinating. I think we'll get through this.
You do.
I really do. But the government needs to it needs to get to the mark, and it needs to step on what it's going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I talked this morning for an hour to my mate in Spain, and he was saying now how it's really getting extreme over there now. And of course, they're about 2 weeks ahead than the UK. But it's not just us two. I mean, it's now. I read this morning that it's now been confirmed that there are cases in every state in the USA, which is quite surprising. And of course, there are some suggestions that there could be up to 500,000 just in the UK deaths. I don't know whether it'd be as high as that, but we're all going to have to put our lives on hold for. I think, because I mean, I don't know when I'm going to be going back to my job. I mean, I'd be surprised if I don't go back till the autumn at earliest, the way it's going, because I mean, when the schools close, then that really is the end of things, because a lot of families, they won't be able to work. They've got to look after their kids. Well, I suppose to a degree. I mean, it's years, it's infants and juniors and early seniors. I mean, when you get kids to when they're about 13 or something, or even slightly younger, they could, in theory, be allowed to be at home on their own. I don't know whether there is a law when kids should be supervised by what age. So, but like I said, what I've heard is there's this sort of there's a term like herd theory or something where
the herd immunity.
That's it. Where they want. That's it. They want to basically get a lot of people infected, get through it, and then they're immune.
But then now it's coming out that certain people have been reinfected again. They don't know this.
I've not heard that.
It has come out in Japan. There's been a few people, but might not be everybody. I mean, they're learning daily. These things come out of nowhere.
Well, then the herd immunity is no good then if the people are getting reinfected.
Well, I don't know. I'm not on the follow. I'm only going by what.
No. I'll just ask you. Yes, fair enough. I mean, like I said,
maybe it is for some people. Maybe it ain't. But I'm taking their advice. Socially, Look, I mean, this morning I got a phone call. I've ordered new carpets and I've got decorators coming to phone me up this morning and said, "When do you want us to come round?"
Why are some people so oblivious?
I don't know. They phoned me up about half an hour. I phoned when I went, "Hello." He said, "Oh, it's the decorators, and we can come round in about 3 weeks, depending on the situation."
Oh God, they're a bit optimistic, aren't they?
Yeah, I said, okay. I said, right, if you want it. I said, I'll be in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're recording this. I mean, we normally record this in the sort of early evenings, but we're doing it as in the morning, which we never do because we've got the time. We might as well. And it gives me time to edit it and get it all out. It sort of helps. Well, not that I've got a lot of pressure.
I mean, I thought, well, I'll wait until we get through this and fucking decorate.
No. I mean, I'm
round.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not doing anything for the moment. I'm just going to be at home and just sort of pootling about and stuff. So, I mean, luckily I've got lots of films to catch up on and watch and stuff. But I'm already feeling unhealthy. I mean, luckily we've got like, one of those machines where it rotates, but your arms rotate at the same time. It's like an exercise bike, but it's not. We've got one of those. So I'm already starting to sort
one of them at the gym, Yeah,
well, I'm doing that for about 10 minutes a day, which isn't a ton, but it's just because otherwise I will start to get unfit really fast. And my job normally I'm walking around a lot, so which is good for me. I never put on weight, but I'll start to put on weight soon unless I start to do stuff.
I'm dancing around to YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Exercise YouTube videos, yeah.
Really? Okay, I've not thought about doing that.
But I've been trying.
Yeah, but you're indoors, don't you?
The Oculus Go. I've been trying to merge it with my laptop and my other computer.
No. It sounds like you're being sensible and stuff, mate. But that's good. Yeah. Well, it's not good, but it's good that you're doing things positively. Well, let's quickly move on to the news. I haven't got a ton of news to talk about, but like I said, this has just been a slightly different show based on what's going on, and I think that people would be interested to hear perspective of podcasters as well as anybody else in their own lives. So yeah, I'm keeping away from anywhere outside. I can walk to my mum's, or I can drive to my mum's if possible. She's only about 15 minutes walks away. I will avoid people coming around. I might even cross the road though if I see people, which people might say it's a bit paranoid, but I'm not. If I was like,
you're right. You're not being paranoid. You're thinking of other people and you're thinking of your own safety as well. I mean, you know, I speak to my family on the phone, and I was going to go home to see them, but I got an email from the train company saying they're not advising, because I was going to buy some tickets and book an hotel, and they said no.
That's horrible.
I'm terrified if I go up there and then suddenly they stop all trains. I don't want to be stuck up there for 3 months.
Yeah, maybe it's. But can you? Have they got things like Skype? And you can stay on touch for face to face.
Yeah.
So I know it's not the same. It's not the same, I know, but I think that it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's just circumstance. So do what you think's right. And I just hope it works out for you and obviously your family and everything. So.
I really do think we'll get through this.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a big changes in society. I think this is now going to give everybody. I think people. I don't know. I think we became quite. I'm not going to get political, but I think we became quite focused on ourselves in the world, and I think this is waking a lot of people up in a good way. And like, you know, the NHS is going to get a lot more money now.
Yeah.
Because they want to, and I want to see things like that. I'd like to see some like social change, but for the benefit of everybody. I think it's going to change.
Yeah, go on. I was going to say, I think that the NHS are wonderful.
Oh God!
And they are so underrated. And you know, yes, they have got limited resources. But when I was ill 2 years ago, and I was almost put on a respirator. Hello, I'm thinking about what's going on now. They were fantastic, and you don't realise until you're ill just how good they are when you need them.
When I was seriously ill about 2 years ago, I was really bad. They were there for me all the way through it, and they're spectacular. The people that work in it, they're brilliant. After if we get through this and we're not running around like Mad Max with mohawks and wearing leather, and shooting each other and all that, I think I want this government or whatever government to start putting the proper amount of money into this. Not this private side, to think that we need to expand on this now, because this could happen again.
I was thinking that. Yeah. I was thinking that this has happened once, but it's hopefully it's something which won't happen again in our lifetimes.
Sorry, go on.
Go on, no, carry on. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, there were that Spanish flu. I've been looking up, and then there were the Black Death, and there's been these like virus outbreaks over the last 400-500 years in recorded history. Today we send ships to Mars. We've created drugs that can cure things. So we've created the internet. I mean, it's a bit different. We have the event of the technology catches up.
Yeah.
Somebody will make the breakthrough with this. But it's got to be a global effort to do it, and they will do. I do.
I mean, the one thing I think about, of course, is the population explosion. And, I said this before, actually going back to science fiction, how, I think in the first season of Doctor Who, they said there were 6 million people. And now in the most recent season, they said there was 7 billion. How we got, a seventh of the population extra in just 1.5 decades, And so because of that, nature often counterbalances things like that. Which is why something like this has come about.
There was a film with Nicolas Cage. Oh God, I saw it once. Not Numbers. It was this other one where it was that Shyamalan director.
I've not seen it.
I saw it once. That director Shyamalan, he did that awful Signs, a bloody awful film.
Right.
Where suddenly lots of people started dying. Things were happening to the mind, the brains. They were shutting down.
Right.
And when they got to end of film, what it wasn't a disease. It was nature culling part of the population to balance everything out.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It was nature. It wasn't a virus. It was nature doing something in the atmosphere to balance everything out, and that's how it finished.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. Like I said, it's it's a quite sort of like scary thing. But in the end, we're here. Let's just see what happens, and just take it one day at a time. And at least we can still do podcasting. So we've saved the world because we got podcasts. There you go.
You might be on a microphone 6 months from now going, hello, is anybody out there? Please, anybody out in your bunker?
We probably have the same amount of subscribers. No, I'm only joking. Right. All right. Well, let's go into this, quickly go into the news. We haven't got a ton of news. Sorry we've talked so much about this, but we just thought it was actually relevant this week. So here we go with the jingle. Solar Sci-Fi News. All right, so this week there hasn't been a ton of news following all this chaos, but there is a couple of things. First of all, the last Star Wars film, Episode 9, has been released digitally slightly earlier than expected. It was brought back a few days, and the Blu-ray, I think the Blu-ray is coming out soon, but from what I understand, they are getting digital format films out early because people have got no other way of seeing it. This also goes with some new releases in the States on films. There's a new version of The Invisible Man coming out, but apparently what's going to happen is that they're going to release that instead on a digital format, so you could download it and see it at home rather than see it in the cinema. I've also heard that a lot of big films in the making have been postponed. And so I don't think we're going to have a lot of entertainment coming up in the next few months.
Well, they've cancelled EastEnders.
They've cancelled EastEnders?
Yeah, they've cancelled Coronation Street. I don't watch it now. I saw news this morning.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Holby's been. I mean, there's going to be some people cracking up if we can't watch this. You know what I mean? I'm not that bothered
I don't feel very sorry for that lot with all that rubbish, but that's just me. I can't stand it.
No, but they have suspended production on all the CW series. All the CW stuff. It's all been suspended.
Well, of course, you know that Star Trek Picard was supposed to be ramping up to start production for season 2 next month.
Yes.
So that's doubtful that's going to happen. From what I understand, Discovery has finished its production. They're in post-production. So whether that still gets delayed based on doing all the special effects, I don't know. When was that supposed to come out, Discovery? Do you know when that was?
I think I've heard too, either middle of April or
So it was very... If it's that soon, then I would assume that most of it would have been done.
Yeah, that's what
And they can also do a lot of work on their computers at home, so they could do physically a lot of stuff with software. So they might be able to get that done, which would be good. Given that, like I said, also Patrick Stewart, who knows where he is, but he's in the age bracket which is dangerous. So I doubt that Picard season 2 is going to be done at any time soon. Any news on the Orville? How's that doing for production?
Well, no, I think it's been filmed.
Has it been done as well? Oh, brilliant!
But it's been moved to is it Hulu or something?
Hulu. Yeah, it's gone to Hulu apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, what is Hulu? What is
Hulu?
Is it like Netflix?
It's another one of these. It's like Amazon, Netflix.
Right.
I've not used it. I know it's in the States. I don't know whether you can get it in the UK. I just know the name of it. I've nothing about what it is or what it has. But that's like I said, that's coming. So I know that they're making the season, but you told me that you think they've finished that, which is excellent news.
I think it is. Yeah.
What else have we got? So we've got Red Dwarf coming up very soon. Just seen the new trailer for that.
There's a big advert. Have you seen the pictures on Facebook?
I saw a poster you sent, or I think you put it on your thing.
Yeah, new one.
And it was really cool. It looked really. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see the one this morning. The one that you saw yesterday had the crew, and he had another member of the Cats as well. And it had Starbuck in the bottom right-hand corner. Looks good. It looks more like a less comedy based. It looks more like it's more like a drama.
Is it separate episodes or a full 90-minute special?
As far as I know, it's a TV movie 90-minute special.
I think they're finishing it. I think this is it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so what
why
makes
not
you think
do
so?
a 6 episode? Why are they doing a 90-minute movie? They're finishing it. I think this is it now.
Well, I hope so.
I could be wrong.
I know. I mean, as you said recently, you said on your live show. I checked out your show on Sunday. Good live stream, by the way. You said that you thought that they've done really as much as they can with it, and and I agree. I think they've done a wonderful job, but they have milked it for as much as they could over the years.
Yes, definitely.
You know what I mean? So if that's the case, then I think that would be great, and it'd be a proper series, a proper, and it is going back to its roots with this one, with the finally discovering the cats who were mentioning in the very first season with the cats who went off. They made 2 ships, and one ship flew into a sun or something, and there was another one, and there was a rival faction between ones which had red hats and ones which had blue hats or something. So I love all that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's strong continuity with the early seasons, which should prove very interesting. So I'm up for that. So that's the news I've gathered from my perspective. Anything else you want to share with us?
No, they didn't. I think that's it, really. They don't seem to be. It's just everything's getting cancelled.
Yeah, that's it. So we might the total sci-fi news might be a little bit short in the weeks to come. But if there's anything, then we'll certainly share it with you guys because I certainly want to discuss it. Martin, you are always so good at talking these things through. You've always got something to run back off me, so I really do appreciate that, which is great. Okay, before we move on then, so let's have a think about it. So we've got, shall we go into the topic of the week, or do you want to focus first on, we've got some bloopers. I've managed to get some bloopers, which I've always done on podcasts in the past, which I've just recently updated. Do you want to hear the new ones?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. This is the latest bloopers to share with the world. I have great fun doing these. Some of these are from Martin's own show. No offense, Martin, but you are a co-host, and some of the bloopers on your show are quite funny as well. So let's give these a play.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. And let's see what we think about this lot. Here we go.
How could I have been so completely wrong?
Solar One Sci-Fi Bloopers.
He's the scientist that works out how to undo. They come through.
It's gone quiet. They come through what? And you're gone. Oh, he's gone. Gone. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. We've had some major issues with my computer, my end. The whole thing's gone down, and we've been running around trying to sort things out. So apologies for that break in our conversation.
Hang on, David. Martin, you sound like Norman Collier with Mike. It's the internet. It's been acting all day. If I reset it, I'll go off air. So I am trying, honestly, but it's been on and off all day, the internet. Isn't the Chibs written this his last episode was complete shite. Michael Caine has got a cyborg hand in it as well.
Has he? Oh, that could be useful on certain nights, couldn't it?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm being a bit.
No,
sorry.
It's a family show.
Yes, exactly. I do. No, I mean he's good at scratching his head at the middle of the night. That's what I try to say.
Of course.
Exactly. Do you want to move on quickly before our network goes down again to Aliens versus
Predator.
Sorry, Predator. God, you see, I'm so flummoxed tonight. Go on.
But I did I loved these concepts about him being immortal and now and when your voice drops out, your temper sounds like a Cyberman.
Oh dear.
That's terrible.
I know. And I remember that they do go to the future, but it was very rare. There's your phone again, mate.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know when they used to land, they're always rolling on the floor, aren't they?
Yeah, the slow motion rolls.
Yeah. They're in
I always thought that.
thing.
They're sort of sort of sound as they're going. Can you do the sound? But I don't care. I don't care about the scientific inaccuracy.
You haven't said what it is yet.
Well, no, this is our show.
Program we're talking about.
Oh no, I haven't. You're right. Space 1999. That's what I mentioned it. God, people know what we're talking about. Shall we go into the latest Alien versus? No, Predator versus. I always say that. Predator versus.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
There you go.
Hang on a minute, I've got to see my batch. Hang on, just 1 sec, sorry. Oh, bugger. This is where it all went wrong for me. Give me a second, sorry. Right. Oh. Right. Right. Sorry about that, I had to disappear. This is episode 14 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Michael Ball on the show again this week with my good friend and science fiction expert and interstellar god of knowledge of anything to do with science fiction. It's Mr. Martin Fowler again. Hello, Martin. You got a bigger build-up every week, mate.
I
bet you can't wait for next week.
What can I say?
I know. I love the way he's like. What's he saying? What's he got? How do I reply to that? I love throwing into the loop.
Nothing.
Well, no. Well, actually,
do you know,
this
sounds
week
like
you've had a
one
drum
big
roll.
LSD
Well, you've had a drum roll.
Oh, not the drum
You know,
roll.
of course you had
It
the
really
drum
goes.
roll.
Go into me.
Yeah, of course you did. And then you had the
It's funny though.
you know that Eamon Holmes show when they're da 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 da.
Oh.
Yeah, you had all that. Of course you had.
Oh,
You're
God.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
you're going to destroy my life.
The curry acts like sulfuric acid, dissolving his head and killing the predator, and the predator is no more. Rimmer switches back on and says that he made a very good distraction. The end. Silence. Silence.
So you've killed the predator with a fucking
Yes.
curry?
Yeah, he killed it with a curry.
I don't believe this. You
What?
killed the fucking predator with a curry.
It's Michael Ball on the show, and what's this I can hear? There's someone beaming in from the far side of Uranus. It's Mr. Martin Fowler. How are you doing?
I'm in shock. Shock.
Every week I do this every week. It's really funny.
I like you.
I know. I like you
Why are you
too.
killing him off?
I like you too. Oh, you mean Hugh? Sorry, I'm joking. I'm in a silly mood.
Oh,
You
God,
could
we've got
tell.
a worldwide pandemic and you're in a silly mood.
I know.
She don't do nothing for me.
No, she doesn't much for me either. Quite frankly, I mean, she's I wouldn't say no if I was desperate enough, but I mean, she. Like the Blue Oyster
No
from Police
political
Academy or something.
correctness on this show.
No,
You're well better than athletes.
I've got the Blue Oyster music playing in the background there, by the way. But
I think
the Blue Oyster, yeah.
Bloopers.
And we'll catch you next week on the Silo One. So,
It sounds insane.
There you go. That's the end of it.
it was insane.
It was like some kind of like weird sex noises and laughter and strange music. And it was like, have we all dropped an acid tap or something? You know, like.
Yeah, but isn't it a time in our lives we need to at the moment? Probably.
It is. Have you got it?
I know. No, I haven't. No.
I wouldn't know.
No, I'm only joking, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's one of those bizarre things. But anyway, there's the bloopers. That's half. It's only 10 minutes long so far, but it is really funny given as a play. And like I said, you had some technical issues your end as well. And you just went bop, wop. You did sound like a machine. It sounded like a sci-fi machine or something, which is quite funny. So.
It's amazing how when the fuck ups happen. It's amazing, you know, when you do it, you know, when you're doing it live and people are going, you sounded a bit off, and you know, you're like, what, and you're not, and you're coming out with these weird noise, and then when it's all like, yeah, it played back, it's insane.
Yeah, I know.
And it's comical as well.
Oh well, I try to make it comical. I mean, like I said, it's although it's a sci-fi podcast, I do like the comedy factor as well. And I think that's something which has always been important in doing the shows which I've done. And I bounce off you well as well, which is good. So
Yes.
cool. Are you ready to go into the solar sci-fi focus of the week?
Oh God, it's time to get paranoid, everybody. They're here.
I know. Here we go. Here's the jingle.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi Focus
of the week.
All right, so this week, a classic show from the late 60s, from ABC. It ran from 1967 to 1968 and starred Roy Finnis. It was, of course, The Invaders. Dum da dum. And it had this very, very serious sort of man actually saying the name of the title in the opening credits. Tell me what you should think about this series.
At the end of this discussion, I'm going to tell you something about The Invaders, which will do your head in.
All right, go for it. At the end, go for it.
I know, he's got to come right at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's speculation, but it's rumoured. There was an ending.
Ah, okay.
But I'm not going to say anything else till we get through it.
All right, so shall I just give a quick synopsis of what it is, and then we'll bounce?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so the plot is that Roy Finnis stars as architect David Vincent, who accidentally learns of a secret alien invasion already underway, and thereafter travels from place to place, attempting to foil the aliens' plot and warn a sceptical populace of the danger. As the series progresses, Vincent is able to convince a small number of people to help him fight the aliens. And as it says, it was a 2-season series where there's all sorts of issues and people coming across things with the aliens and all right, sorry about that. We had a temporary interruption, so it's throwing us off what we're talking about. So carrying with what you were saying beforehand, if you remember.
I forgot what I was saying.
All right,
What
so
was I saying?
you were saying that it came to an ending, and I'd said obviously. So go on, go for it.
Yeah, well, you were explaining what it was about.
Yes, and
Yes,
we got
so
to. We got to the point where basically that was the synopsis of the story, and David Vincent was trying to foil the aliens from slowly taking a foothold over American society. So how did you come across the series? What were the best points of it?
I watched it once when it was on TV. I was about 7 or 8. My mother come in and said there's aliens in this.
Right.
And I watched it. It wasn't at random episodes, and I watched it, and I got a bit scared actually. It was that, you know, that music. 'Cause they have that, you know that.
Yeah, and it used to say.
That creepy music, and he shot one of them. The vaporized red.
I always remember
And
that. I always loved the fact that every episode they had this weird red vaporizing thing of the aliens, or those guns, which I was still going to 3D print you that gun at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. I certainly do remember it as being. I mean, David Vincent was a bit miserable though. He was a bit of a.
Yeah,
you know.
well, this is going to be interesting when we go into his character, because it's like I mean, these aliens have got no emotions, and I don't think they breathe air either, because there's one episode where they're in a room where we can't breathe, but they're all walking in and out.
Yeah.
And me and a couple of friends are fascinated by the whole concept of the invaders, and it was like the whole thing. He turns up now. There were no internet at the time.
No.
But he manages to arrive somewhere where they're up to something.
Right.
You know, he just turns up there, you know.
Yeah, how did he always find out where the aliens were? I can never remember how he sort of like read things in magazines and stuff, or articles and stuff, didn't he?
Oh, there was some strange fuck up the aliens would do. You know, in their experiment, there'd be something that get
which would come out odd. It looks like, and he would think that doesn't seem quite right, or maybe it's the aliens. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I don't know, because then he'd turn up and he knows who to look for in the town who's seen it. And then I assumed he must have had a post box where people send him stuff.
Yeah.
But then he'd have to advertise himself.
That's true. Yeah. It was
I don't know, because there was no internet at the time. But he just manages. I'm going to give you an answer to this, actually, but it's up to you if you believe it.
No, go for it.
And that's why I don't want to say it just yet.
You want to give some more description of the show?
I really do. But I mean, the question my mate said to me, because we watched a few episodes, I had one night, and it's fascinating viewing because the music. It's a beautiful program, and he's running around, and you always got like there'll be a married couple that's having emotional problems.
Yes.
And that pissed me off a bit, because I wasn't really into. But then it's about the character, and he turned up, and then once her husband had seen it, and nobody believes him, but he does, and they stopped the conspiracy. The aliens are really malevolent and evil, and they're sort of like there's a punch up and a fight, and they catch him, and then they do strange things to his mind. And,
That's it, yeah.
And he's running about. But I mean, there is some episode, because when we get to season 2, in season 1, he's him running around, foiling them. Because don't think first episode, he falls asleep at a diner, he sees the ship land.
That's it, yeah.
And it all begins from there. And it got very interesting each week. But season 2, we got the episode The Believers, where he had a team of them, about 10 of them. One of them were a multi-millionaire industrialist.
Yeah.
And they went out, and actually they made some significant gain. There's one episode where it's set in NORAD,
Right.
where they're going to actually invade a part of the Earth. They send a big fleet of saucers to get a beachhead, and he stops the invasion because they swap the computer tapes over, so the radar sees another image.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's really good. And it's stuff. There was one where him and the Edgar Scoville, the millionaire fella, they build these stations where, because they come in, the saucers flying on like a signal to land,
Right.
and they disrupt the signals and they start crashing. And there is a leader. We see him twice in the second season. The leader.
Oh, I don't remember that. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
there's a leader. You see him twice because there is a peace talk. This American general knows about him.
I know at the end of the series it was sort of building up where there was a big sort of force of people, and I think they were trying to do some sort of negotiations or something. Was that right?
There was one episode, The Peacemaker. He gets this, he's got this colonel who's a friend who knows about it, and he's seen it, and he goes back a couple of episodes. There is some continuation in this, what I quite liked about it. And he's boss, this general, he's one of these fanatics. He says, let's have a peace talk, see what they want, because his plan is to build a doomsday device that if they try and take the Earth, they'll blow up the planet.
Right.
Instead, it's all a setup. He's going to fly over and drop bombs on them, but there's a saucer that vaporizes the bomber.
Right.
And the leader's seen twice, because there's one episode where Vincent kidnaps the leader, and they're all outside.
I can't remember these episodes. I mean, I did like the Invaders.
Well, they were all on. I've got them on DVD. They were all on YouTube. I've got them on DVD
as well.
Being moved.
Oh, have they? Yeah. Sometimes you get someone who uploads them for about a month, and then it catches their attention. Then they lose the channel, and then they're all gone. So it's good to look out for these things sometimes and see if you can.
Well, back in '60s, propaganda-wise, they were communists, were aliens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the Cold War. You know the old communism.
Yeah. So it was like a parallel with Russia.
Yeah. That's
But a lot of series back then had that issue. I've seen that as well. There was, wasn't it like the Klingons and Star Trek a bit like the Russians or something?
Yeah, they were Klingons. I think the Romulans were Chinese, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
So
again, they were like the secret ones, weren't
yes,
they? Yes,
that's right. That's a good point. So it's another sort of parallelism with that based on the time that the shows were made. And of course, the aliens they had a stiff small finger. They couldn't move their small fingers, could they?
No.
Remember that?
There's one great scene at the end where he stops something, and he's in a corridor, and you just see a hand, and it's mutated at the end. That they hear, and that voice. Remember that voice? This is David Vincent.
I know. It was
He spoiled the invaders for today. They're waiting, and then that creepy, amazing music. Because my friend, he's a musician. He's obsessed with Dominic Frontier. He's really done a lot of the guy that wrote the music and that, because it was used in the Outer Limits, apparently, that music.
What?
In the 60s, Outer Limits, yeah.
Well, they actually used the music?
Before the Invaders, yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't made for the Invaders, it actually ripped off the Outer Limits?
No, it was used in an episode at Outer Limits. My best friend is a musician, and he's really obsessed. He's really into sound. But this music, he did a load of research into Dominic Frontier, the guy that did there isn't a lot out there about him. But apparently, the music was connected from the Outer Limits in one episode. They used it, I don't know, and they put it to the Invaders. But the other thing is, if you've noticed, in the Invaders, a lot of the actors are in Star Trek.
Yes. Oh, yeah, loads.
Yeah. All the same people worked on the similar program, like the set crews and all that.
And of course, it was a similar time as well. It was actually during.
Yeah.
It would have been during season 2 and 3 of Star Trek, so that makes sense that they were crossing over.
Absolutely.
So 67, 68. So I remember Gene Hackman was in an episode as well as one of the aliens as well.
Oh God, yeah, Michael Rene as well too. He were in 2 episodes.
Yeah. Some good stars.
I think a 2-parter got banned as well. There were a 2-parter.
How do you mean it got banned? You mean it wasn't made?
I don't think they showed it in some countries.
Oh, but obviously it's been released since then on DVD.
It's the one where there's like a world peace conference. The aliens are leaking radiation.
Right.
And it's set in a bunker. It's a 2-parter, and Michael Renner.
I'm going to have to watch the whole series again because you're telling me a lot of stuff I've forgotten.
Very enjoyable.
I know, I like it. You can just delve into it. And in the end, what I like about these older series is that although it's got a plot line, you can still delve into episodes quite standalone and just enjoy the episode for what it is.
Yeah, you can.
Which I like.
I mean, it's the whole thing of it is you never get bored of it.
No.
I mean, there's one episode where he catches the phone. What annoys me every week, I get annoyed with him because he's on the verge of exposing it and then he loses it every week.
Yeah.
It pisses me off because like every week he fucks it up.
And there's a parallel with the Incredible Hulk, though. So at the end of the episode, he normally walks away. No, he does. There's a parallel.
No.
All right, okay. I just thought I'd give it a go. No, it's true. At the end of the episode, he sort of walks away, or in this series, he drives away.
It.
And his mission, he's still seeking the answer to his quandary. There's a parallel.
Killing me.
There's a parallel. Sorry. The only thing
you're
is,
right. Yeah. But he doesn't steal a pair of pants off a washing line, though, does he? And leave a fiver.
No, he hasn't done that.
No,
I don't think I've seen an episode where he did that. No.
But you are right. I can't defend that. You are right. It's the same parallel.
Plus, I'm sure there were some fights with the aliens which involved polystyrene rocks as well at some point.
I mean, the aliens are cool because they have that other device. Well, where that circle thing.
The circle thing at the back of the neck. Yes.
But they just kill them like
that. Yeah, that's right. It was like it was a killing thing. It wasn't like their heat ray gun which made them go red and then dissipate. It was just they used to put them in and then the guy would sort of like open his eyes and go, oh, and they'd be dead. I loved it. It was good.
Do one episode where he's beating about, because he always beats about 3 of them up when they all jump him and he kills them all.
Yeah.
But one's got the big vaporizer gun and he boots him and the gun gets flown over a rock. An alien vaporizer. I'm thinking, well, there's the fucking vaporizer.
Why not just use the gun? Yeah, I know.
Well, just
go and get the gun and use it.
And go up the fucking ear. The gun off, and then I did see one episode where he killed one. And the gun vaporized, so maybe if the loose contact it vaporized, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because there is.
Yeah, there is an episode like that, but
the same as the way that if they die, maybe they're linked to the body of the person. So if the alien dies, then maybe the example of their technology has to also dissipate and disintegrate to cover up the evidence. That could be quite interesting.
There's one with the one I watched on Saturday to prepare for this was the organisation,
right,
where the mob gets involved. You know, the mafia.
Yeah,
they're on the ship and they're looking for this package, but the mob are there and they're looking for the drugs and they've disappeared because a UFO crashed into a satellite and there's parts of it on the ship. And mob kidnap him, and you've got this actor, he's from McLeod or something, this movie actor, and he's going, where's the drugs? And he tells him, he's been taken by aliens. And I love it every episode when like the people, like the mob, are like, what are you talking? Where's our fucking drugs? And he's going, well, the aliens. And then they're like, are you for real? Are you like, and that music kicks in when he's telling them.
Oh yeah.
And you get in that moment. He's doing the reading, and then it all comes out. One of the mob members is an alien, and they shoot him, and he vaporizes. And the mob team up with him, and he's believers, and starts taking alien installations out. But it ends up where this mobster, he sees the bigger picture.
Right.
that they've got to be stopped. But his mafia bosses, all they want is the drugs.
They get the
and
drugs.
say-
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They just turn around and say, well, they might take over the world, but they've got to take it from us. And the mobster guy gets killed. They kill him at the end because it's a crusade. They've got to be stopped. I mean, they are completely evil.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now there was 3 paper. I think there were 3 to 4 paperbacks that came out. They're very collectible now. I've only got hold of one of them.
Right.
And I don't know what happened to it. And the story was interesting because you got a bit more about them in the book, that they're from some declining empire. And they're in a lot of them. That's why they can't do, just come in. They're very stretched. That's why they're infiltrating. But they used to have quite a lot of pull up in space. It's what he said in this book.
Right.
And one of them's chasing him around in one of their actual forms on this ship. It's the biggest ship that lands. And, and this alien's going on about, do you realise what we used to be and all this? But he kills him. This is in the book. And I think there were 3 or 4 books. And it was only a couple of pages. You got a bit more about them. And because that was the fascination. Who are they? Where they're from? And,
It was the mystery factor, which was interesting as well. I mean, we didn't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
That's what made them appealing.
They did it beautifully.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I agree about that. They made this sense of this dangerous threat, but we don't really know much about them.
And the evidence. I mean, they destroyed. They sacrificed themselves.
Oh yeah, they didn't care. They'd do anything.
exposed.
Yeah, they'd do anything not to be exposed, but just to carry on with their plans and their missions and stuff. So that was good.
Yeah.
There was a sequel with Scott Bakula which followed The Invaders.
Oh God. No.
I've not seen that yet.
No.
Is it terrible?
It's on YouTube.
Okay. Do you like it?
All 3-4 hours of it.
Or is it along like a miniseries or something?
Yeah.
I heard that Roy Finnis makes an appearance as well.
Right. I remember it back in the 90s. Blockbusters. Big poster in window.
Yeah.
Massive poster in window. A friend of mine walking past Blockbuster. I saw a poster. Big road going through a desert. That road on Terminator. And they like the desert.
Yeah.
Invaders. And I couldn't believe it. I went in. I said, when's this coming out? I said, we've already got it. He said it's from the 60s TV series. It took me a week and a half to rent the bloody thing. I had to book it because it went out all the time because people obviously,
They want to see the sequel.
And I finally got it Saturday night, got a takeaway in, sat down. And my God, I just couldn't fucking believe what I sat through 4 hours of that shite.
Is it really bad?
It were like the breathe pollution, the old smokes. And they used to sit in phone boxes and having car fumes going in, and they all eat bacon and eggs. And when I'm not making this shit up, right? I'm being fucking serious, right?
All right.
And then when they vaporised, right? When they turned, I just saw background red light, and there were loads of insects on the floor crawling about.
Oh.
And John Boy from the Waltons was the fucking leader.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and David Vincent turned up. He'd been trying to stop him for 40 years, and he gave Scott Bakula a book because they're gonna do some evil. But there's a good scene where this big spaceship lands. It's massive in desert, and they're all coming off, and they get picked up by school buses.
Oh. Okay.
And they go to this cafe, and they all eat bacon and eggs, and then they all sit in a telephone box with car fumes and regenerate. I mean. And it was just, they fucked it up. And Scott Bakula were like, he's got this telepathic connection to him.
Right.
And he's like, the framing for the crime he didn't commit and all this. And they're after his family. It's I don't know. I mean, if you want to take the risk.
Yeah, I'll give it a go at some point. Definitely.
But I'd avoid. On it, it's got fuck all to do with the original.
So we're actually running out of recording time, so I better speed things up. Do you just to round this off? You said there was one thing at the end that you wanted to say about this.
Right, I don't know if this is true, and I've actually asked a few Invaders purists on Facebook, and it's been at the end of the series in this so-called missing episode. It was in the SFX magazine years ago. Now I don't know if it's true because I've been trying to find this for years. That in the final episode, he exposes them to the world.
Right. Okay.
And they pull out, they fuck off because we know about them. But then he drives down, of course, it's in a desert, goes to a house in the desert, walks into the house, goes into the front room, and a bookcase opens, and inside is a radio. And he says it's time. He said, we've got rid of them. It's time to invade them.
Oh.
Or it was the planned enemy. Seriously.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I don't know. This were in SFX magazine in the 90s.
Yeah.
Now, if that's true, I don't know. But if it is, I would love it.
Oh.
If this exists, amazing. But
Yeah.
I think some of the invaders, to be honest, said it's rumoured, but a lot of people said it ain't. But I did read this in SFX magazine, so
Yeah. It's interesting. But
interesting.
yeah.
Would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I think that's a really good review. I am speeding things up a little bit because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent series. Well worth a watch. And it's one of those sort of rare shows that people should check out. If it, like I said, look out for it on YouTube. You can buy it on DVD, and it's definitely worth a look. Let's very quickly go into the Predator versus. I almost said it wrong again, and this is a very quick off-the-cuff thing for us to try this one out. Are you ready for the jingle?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I can't wait for this.
All right, here we go.
Predator versus. Oh God, I'm so impressed.
All right, actually, this is the wrong page. Okay, the Predator is flying around looking for its next target, and it approaches the planet Magrathea. As it approaches Magrathea, it's suddenly this announcement in its ship says for him to stay away. They're a planet that wants to keep themselves. The Predator ignores it and carries on flying. And then the announcement comes across again to say that they're grateful that they've got some interest in the planet, and that the guided missiles which are heading towards are a sign of saying thank you for showing our interest, but basically go away. So the Predator then has 2 missiles flying towards him. He does some very quick maneuvers on his Predator ship, and he managed to actually cause them, although they chase him, he does it so that he actually manages to interfere with their radar system, and the 2 missiles inadvertently hit each other and they're destroyed. So the Predator is able to land on the Magrathea without any more dangers. He encounters the ship which has the infinite improbability drive, and looks inside and tries to raid it for anything which is useful, but he's a warrior and it's no good. And eventually he sees a life form, a life energy source outside, and he comes across it, and he comes across Marvin. So he looks at Marvin, he's not very impressed, and Marvin says,
Don't feel you have to take any notice of me, please.
and the Predator thinks this is nothing worth his time, but he decides to just destroy it with his energy beam because he's got nothing else to do. Luckily, Marvin does have a absorption on his actual metal case, which actually makes the actual energy weapon bounce off, and for the moment he's okay. The Predator then starts to walk towards Marvin, and he wants to just pull his head off because he just thinks this is a waste of his time. And Marvin, basically, first of all, he tries to pull his head off. Marvin falls to the ground, but he then slowly gets up again, and the Predator turns round and he tries again. But luckily, Marvin has the brain the size of a planet, which of course he used to go on.
Yeah.
And there's one thing also that the Predator doesn't realise, that when he's got his hands around the Marvin's head, Marvin can do a telepathic link to him like a Vulcan mind meld.
Oh,
And
no.
because of it, he then transmits to the Predator that he's feeling very, very depressed. The Predator feels really, really down, and he decides then to use his own weapon against him. He kills himself, and Marvin then just stands there looking very glum. The end.
Oh, for fuck's that is genius.
I just made that up.
I like that. I was wondering how you were going to do it, because I thought, well, his only weapon is depression.
Yes.
And you just complete that poor fucking predator.
Oh no. So there
What
you are.
have you done to the predator?
Oh no, I made him depressed and then he killed himself. He committed suicide.
So he got his laser blasted and blew
tried
his
to-
brains
yeah, he blew his
out, and
own-
his
yeah.
body just drops on the floor with green blood coming out.
Yeah, and Marvin just stood there sort of like, because he's got to wait another 3 million years until the others reach him again at the end of the galaxy. No, 3.
And I'm going on about how I've got a brainless
Size of a planet. Yeah.
And I'm just impressed with the ultimate killing machine in the galaxy.
Well, there we
did very
go.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that was a very quick off the cuff one because I've literally got 1 minute 40 seconds left to record on this audio track. So,
Right, well,
sorry to
superb.
rush off, but that's because we had that phone call which messed up my things, which is why I'm rushing.
Yes.
But I do it this because then it makes every show about the similar length. It's just one of my weirdisms. We're going to lead with actually a song from Marvin the Paranoid Androids, which is certainly applicable for this podcast. Enjoy. Thank you, Martin. We'll be back next week. Not sure what we're...
Live long and prosper.
Actually,
Stay safe.
very quickly before we go, what are we doing next week?
I don't know. I know Predator's taking on, I think.
What are we doing for topic?
What about Space Above? Have you seen Space Above and Beyond?
Oh, a long time ago. No, let's not do that one yet. I need to see that one
Okay.
first. What about a doctor?
Yeah.
Which
go
doctor?
on, I'm up
Okay,
for that.
which doctor should we choose? Who do you want to feature next week?
And, go on, Colin Baker.
We'll be back next week with the Colin Baker Doctor Who special. We'll catch you later and live long and prosper, ladies.
I'm just a robot and I know my place. A metal servant to the human race. I work my can off trying to satisfy. I know they'll disconnect me by and by. Chip on my shoulder made of silicon. My printed circuits like a lexicon. 10 billion logic functions, maybe more. They make me pick the paper off the floor. Solitary, solenoid, terminally paranoid Marvin. Know what really makes me mad? They clean me with a Brillo pad. A car wash wouldn't be so bad. Life, don't talk to me about life. I'm so depressed I could expectorate. My moving parts are in a solid state. I want to rust in peace, switch off and lie in that great junkyard in the sky. Solitary, solenoid, terminally paranoid Marvin. Nothing left to be enjoyed, every diode rheumatoid Marvin. Outer alloy, inner void Marvin. Happiness has been destroyed.